Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Monday, February 2nd, 2026. And today feels a little different.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Usually we come in here and we have a stack of papers that are, just screaming about box office records or...
Who wore what?
Exactly. Who wore what at the airport. And don't get me wrong, we have some of that today. But looking at the stack you've brought in, it feels heavier.
It does.
Not heavy in a bad way, but heavy in a let's sit down and actually think about life kind of way.
It's a kaleidoscope today. That's really the best word for it.
A kaleidoscope. Okay. I like that.
Because if you turn the dial one way, you see these massive, explosive changes in the industry. Franchises shifting, box office wars.
Right.
But if you turn it just a fraction of the left, you see these incredibly quiet, almost desperate moments of human searching. We have superstars just vanishing into the mountains. We have legends flying kites.
And we have a Swiss farmer who apparently holds the keys to existential wisdom.
The Swiss farmer is the unexpected guru of the week, yes?
I cannot wait to get to that story. But if you had to put a label on this deep dive, like if you had to write the title on the file folder, what are we actually looking at today?
I would probably call it the Great Transition, or maybe the search for authenticity. Because whether it's the actors, the directors, or even the franchises, everyone seems to be asking, who are we, really?
That's a deep question.
It is. Are we the glossy image?
Yeah.
Or are we something, messier underneath?
That is a big question for a Monday morning. Who are we? I usually just ask, where's my coffee?
Well, you can ask both.
We can. I like it. So we're going to look at the queens taking over the cup universe, which is a sentence I never, ever thought I'd say.
It's a big one.
We're going to look at a very spicy, potentially sinister debate happening between a filmmaker and a blockbuster franchise.
That one is going to be tricky to navigate, but it's so important.
And we're going to talk about why one of the most famous men in India is hanging out with rickshaw pullers. So buckle up. Our mission today is to peel back the headlines and see what is actually happening in the hearts of these storytellers.
Shall we start with the man in the mountains, then?
Let's do it. Let's unpack this Madhavan story first, because honestly, this one just stopped me in my tracks. R. Madhavan. Maddie. The man has been a heartthrob for decades. He's a fantastic actor. But the headline is that he took a 4-year hiatus.
4 years.
Now, in Bollywood time, 4 years is an eternity. You disappear for 4 years. People usually assume you've retired or you've been blacklisted or something.
Or you're just doing brand endorsements quietly in the background. But no, this was a deliberate vanishing act. And the catalyst wasn't burnout, at least not in the traditional sense. It wasn't, I'm tired. It was, I feel small.
And this is where the Swiss farmer comes in. Walk me through this. How on earth does a farmer in Switzerland shake the confidence of a movie star?
So, the story goes that Madhavan was in Switzerland. And if you've ever been, it's pristine, it's expensive, it's...
the playground of the elite.
Absolutely. And he has an encounter with a local farmer. And we don't have the transcript of the conversation, unfortunately.
That kills me. I need to know exactly what was said, word for word.
I know. But the gist of it was that the farmer said something, or maybe it was just the way he lived, that made Madhavan feel completely humiliated.
Humiliated.
Not insulted, humiliated.
That is such a specific and powerful word choice. Humiliated.
It is. It implies a comparative lack of worth. My reading of it. Madhavan, with all his fame, his followers, his box office numbers, he stood next to a man who likely works the land, produces something tangible.
Something real.
Something real. Maybe lives with a simplicity and a connection to nature that Madhavan suddenly realized he completely lost. It suggests a total disconnect between celebrity status and real-world value.
It's the classic ivory tower realization, isn't it? You're up there, the air is thin, everyone is telling you you're great, but you don't actually do anything real.
You just pretend.
You just pretend to be people who do real things.
Exactly. And for an artist, that's death.
Yeah.
If you stop being a person and you just start being a star, you have nothing left to draw from. You're just mimicking emotions you saw in another movie.
So what does he do? He doesn't go to a retreat in Bali to do yoga, which is what I would have expected.
No, not at all.
No, and this is the part that fascinates me. He comes back to India and he travels, but he specifically mentions seeking out rickshaw pullers.
Yes. The rickshaw pullers.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second because I can hear the listener thinking, is this a bit of poverty tourism? Is this a rich guy going, oh, look at the simple folk. Let me learn from their noble struggle. It could feel a little performative, maybe.
That is a completely valid cynicism. It's a very, very fine line to walk.
Yeah.
If he went there with a camera crew to document his journey of self-discovery, then yes, it's performance. But by all accounts, this was private. And think about the social hierarchy in India. The distance between a Bollywood star and a rickshaw puller is astronomical. They exist in different universes.
They share the same road, but different universes. That's a great way to put it.
Right. For Madhavan to bridge that gap, to actually sit down and listen, requires him to completely kill his ego.
He's not a star in that moment.
He has to stop being Maddie the star and just be a listener. He explicitly noted that these experiences shaped his personal growth. He was trying to pop his own bubble. He realized he needed life to fuel his art.
So it wasn't just research for a role, it was research for being a human being.
Precisely. He was refilling the tank. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't act if you've forgotten what real struggle or real joy looks like outside of a VIP airport lounge.
It's so interesting you mentioned refilling the tank or, finding ingredients for the art, because that leads us directly to another actor who seems to be having the opposite problem.
Right.
He has the ingredients, but nobody wants to eat what he's cooking.
Sanjay Mishra.
Sanjay Mishra. Now, everyone loves Sanjay Mishra. He's the Damal guy, the Golmaal guy.
An absolute legend.
If he's on screen, you're laughing. But reading this interview with him, he sounds tired. Or maybe frustrated is the better word.
Irritated. He actually used the word irritated.
He did. He used this kitchen metaphor that I thought was brilliant. He said his career is like cooking, but filmmakers only use the essential ingredients from him, the salt and pepper of comedy, and they completely ignore his full spice rack.
It's such a profound lament. And think about Sanjay Mishra's face. Yes, he can make it look funny. Of course he can.
He's a master.
But in films like Masan or On Kandeki, that same face carries the weight of the entire world. It's tragic. It's deep. But the industry machine looks at him and just sees a cash register that rings when he says a funny line.
It's the clown's curse, right? The tragedy of the funny man. If you're good at being funny, nobody lets you be sad.
And it's an economic trap for him. He admits it. He says, comedy paid the bills. He's not ungrateful. He knows that those essential ingredients kept the lights on during the tough years.
Sure.
But now he craves artistic respect. He wants to be seen as a chef, not just a short-order cook.
It feels like such a common theme today, people fighting against the box that the industry has put them in. Madhavan was in the star box, Mishra is in the comedian box, and then we have Neena Gupta, who took us back to the 90s to talk about a box she couldn't even get into.
The Bandit Queen revelation. This was genuinely shocking to me.
Right. Neena Gupta revealed she was rejected for the role of Phoolan Devi in Shekhar Kapoor's Bandit Queen. Now, Neena Gupta is a powerhouse. She's gritty, she's raw, she's perfect for it on paper.
Absolutely.
But the reason for the rejection, they told her she was too good looking.
And too fair.
Too fair. I mean, usually in Bollywood, being fair is the golden ticket. You hear all these stories about actors using skin lightening creams or dark-skinned actors being rejected for lead roles. This is the exact opposite.
It's what you could call the fetishization of grit. In the 90s parallel cinema movement, there was this idea that realism equaled dark skin and unconventional looks.
Right, like an aesthetic.
Exactly. If you were conventionally beautiful or fair-skinned, the assumption was that you couldn't possibly portray the suffering of a rural woman like Phoolan Devi.
Which is its own kind of prejudice, isn't it? It's just saying, oh, you look too nice to be poor.
It's totally its own kind of prejudice. It's superficiality, just pointing in the other direction. It completely ignores the craft of acting. Makeup exists, prosthetics exist, acting ability exists.
Hello.
Neena Gupta could have transformed herself. But the visual bias was so strong that they just couldn't see past her skin tone.
But I have to give her credit. She was so gracious about it. She said the final casting of Seema Biswas was fabulous.
That's the maturity of a veteran. She knows Seema Biswas gave a defining, iconic performance. You can't argue with history.
No, you can't.
But looking back, it just exposes how rigid the industry's casting logic can be. You're too dark for the romance. You're too fair for the tragedy. I mean, where do you fit?
It seems like the answer for a long time was nowhere. But that brings us to the present day, where it seems like the question of who fits where is getting a massive overhaul. Especially in the action genre.
The cop universe.
The cop universe. We have to talk about this. For the last decade, the Indian cop universe has been synonymous with testosterone.
Completely.
Simba, Suryavanshi, cars flying, men shouting, muscles rippling. But the headlines today are screaming about a takeover, and it's not the young guys, it's the women.
It is a significant pivot. We aren't just seeing a female version of the hero. We are seeing established powerhouse actresses taking the center stage. Rani Mukherjee is back with Mardani 3.
Yep.
Shefali Shah, who basically redefined the genre with Delhi crime, is in the mix. And now Kadhal is entering the fray.
This is what I love. It's not just women. It's women in their 40s and 50s.
Yes, that's the key.
Usually an action hero is a young guy in his 30s. Or, you know, a superstar in his 50s who pretends to be in his 30s. But here we have Rani and Shefali playing their age, playing experienced, gritty officers.
And it changes the texture of the film completely. When you have a male super cop, the solution to every single problem is usually a punch. He is invincible.
Always.
But with characters like Shivani Shivaji Roy in Mardani or Rittika Chaturvedi in Delhi crime, the authority comes from intelligence. It comes from tenacity. It comes from a protective instinct that feels different from the male savior complex.
It feels more maternal. Is that the wrong word? Or is it?
I don't think it's the wrong word, but not maternal in a soft way. Maternal in a mama bear who will rip your throat out if you touch the cub kind of way.
Okay, yes. That's a better way to put it. A fierce, grounded authority.
Exactly.
But here is the big question. Is this just a trend? Is the studio thinking, okay, we've run out of heroes, let's try the heroines? Or is the audience actually demanding this?
That is the multi-million rupee question, isn't it? The sources are calling it a market correction.
A market correction.
The audience is fatigued by the invincible male hero. We've seen him blow up 500 cars. We're bored. We want stakes. And frankly, seeing a woman navigate a violent patriarchal system adds automatic stakes that a Salman Khan movie just doesn't have.
That's so true. Because when Salman walks into a room, you know he wins. When Rani walks into a room full of traffickers, you're actually worried for her.
Exactly. The vulnerability makes the victory that much sweeter.
But, and there is always a but, when we talked about these high-minded changes in cinema, the box office numbers are telling a slightly different story about what the masses really want.
Oh.
Because while Rani is fighting the good fight in Mardani 3, there is a tank rolling over the box office next door.
Border 2.
Border 2. The numbers are frankly insane. Domestic collection, 275 crore rupees. Global collection by day 10, 370 crore.
It's a juggernaut. There's no other word for it.
It is. And then you look at Mardani 3. It held steady, which is good. It made about 17.25 crore in its opening weekend. That's respectable.
It's not a flop.
No, but 17 crore versus 370 crore, that is a massacre.
It really highlights the two Indias phenomenon we often discuss. Mardani 3 appeals to the urban multiplex audience that wants nuance, that wants that gritty female lead.
Right.
Border 2, that taps into something much more primal. War, nationalism, nostalgia, Sunny Deal screaming.
It's a comfort food versus salad.
Or the comfort food versus the complex acquired pace.
Right.
Border 2 isn't asking you to think about gender dynamics. It's just asking you to cheer for the flag. And in a polarized world, that simple, loud emotion sells tickets by the truckload.
So even though the cop universe is shifting gender, the war universe proves that the old-school masculine aggression is still the dominant currency at the box office.
Financially, yes, absolutely. But culturally, the fact that Mardani 3 exists and is profitable shows that the alternative is sustainable. It doesn't have to beat Border 2 to be a success. It just has to exist.
That's a fair point. It's not a zero-sum game. Speaking of rewriting archetypes, though, it's not just the cops. Did you see this little bit about the film The Girlfriend?
With Rashmika Mandanna. Yes, I did.
Director Rahul Ravindran was at the Bengaluru International Film Festival, and he dropped a fascinating description. He called the film an antithesis to glorified male archetypes.
Which is a very bold pitch for a mainstream film.
Yeah.
I mean, he's throwing down the gauntlet there.
Right. What does that even mean? Antithesis to glorified male archetypes.
I think he's signaling a move away from the Kabir Singh era. We had a run of films that glorify the toxic, possessive, violent lover.
A long run.
A very long run. Ravindran is basically saying, we're going to tell a love story where the man isn't the center of the universe and maybe isn't even the good guy in the traditional sense.
And he's putting all the weight on Rashmika. He called her an incredible actor. It sounds like she's the one driving the entire narrative.
Which is a shift for her, too. She's often played the flower pot role, you know, there to look pretty and support the hero. This sounds like a real character study.
Although, I have to laugh, we are here discussing her deconstructing male archetypes, but the internet. The internet only cares about one thing.
The wedding rumors, of course.
Oh, wedding rumors. Apparently, she was supposed to marry Vijay Deverakonda today, February 2nd, in Udaipur. The whole thing was planned out online.
Well, looking at the news, she is clearly not in a lehenga in Udaipur right now, so.
She denied it, but now the rumor mill has just moved the date. Oh, it wasn't the 2nd. It must be the 26th.
It just goes to show. You can make high art films about destroying the patriarchy, but the public just wants to know who you're dating. The gossip column is undefeated.
It really is. Okay, let's pivot a bit. We've talked about box office wars, but there is an ideological battle happening right now that feels sharper, more dangerous, maybe?
You're talking about the Durandar divide.
Yes. This story made me genuinely uncomfortable. So here's the setup for you. Ranveer Singh, megastar. He drops the teaser announcement for Durandar 2. Fans go wild. It's a spy universe, action, thrill, big budget, standard blockbuster stuff.
Standard operating procedure. Hype machine engaged.
But then Shazia Iqbal enters the chat, and she's not some random Twitter troll. She's a filmmaker. She directed Dadak 2. She's in the industry.
She has credibility.
Exactly, and she publicly slammed the franchise. She didn't just say, oh, I don't like it. She called it sinister.
The heavy word.
Yeah,
sinister.
She accused it of inciting hate and violence, and the backlash was so instantaneous and so severe that she had to go private on Instagram.
This is the polarization of Bollywood in a nutshell. On one side, you have the commercial imperative. It's just a movie. It's entertainment. Spies killing terrorists is fun.
Lighten up.
Lighten up. And on the other side, you have the moral imperative. Cinema shapes reality. If you show a certain community as villains or if you glorify a certain type of violence, you are complicit in real-world hate.
But for a director to call out another director's franchise like that, that's breaking the omerta, isn't it? The code of silence. Usually Bollywood is all, we are one big happy family.
That family facade is cracking. It's been cracking for a while. The political climate is seeping into the creative space. Shazia feels a responsibility to speak up. The fans of Ranveer feel she is attacking their idol, and the result is a mob.
It just raises such a tough question. Can a movie just be a cool spy thriller anymore? Or does every single frame have a political weight to it?
I think in 2026, everything has weight. You can't separate the art from the atmosphere it's released into. If the country is tense, a movie about internal enemies isn't just a movie. It's a match being thrown into a powder keg.
And Shazia sees the powder keg.
While the fans just see the fireworks.
And the fact that she had to go private, that scares me. It means there is no room for debate. You can't critique. You either cheer or you shut up.
And that is the most sinister part of it all, perhaps, the death of dialogue.
Speaking of violence and audiences cheering for it, we have to touch on reality TV. Because if movies are inciting violence, reality TV is basically serving it up on a platter with a side of fries.
It really is. You're talking about the 50.
The 50. It's this show on Colors and Geo Hotstar. And there was a physical fight, like a full-on brawl, Rajat Dalal versus Digvijay Rathi.
Yes, I saw the clip.
And the internet is outraged. They're calling Rajat Dalal a gunda, a thug. They are demanding he be removed from the show. But, and I'm going to be the cynic again, did the ratings go up?
Almost certainly. This is the inherent hypocrisy of the format.
Yeah.
We cast people who are volatile, we put them in high-pressure situations, we poke them with a stick, and then when they finally explode, we clutch our pearls and say, oh my God, how toxic, banish him.
We watched the clip.
We watched it, we shared it, we are the ones funding the circus.
That's it. It creates this interesting parallel with the Shazia Iqbal comment. In movies, we critique glorified violence as dangerous propaganda. But in reality TV, we consume toxic violence as a guilty pleasure.
But isn't the reality TV violence more immediate, more influential in some ways?
That's a great point. We worry about a fictional spy character, but we ignore the guy on TV literally punching someone in the face because, oh, it's just a reality show. It's such a weird moral line we draw.
We are flirting with toxicity as entertainment and then acting surprised when it gets ugly. It's a very dangerous loop.
I need a cleanse. Seriously. We've had box office massacres, ideological wars, and reality TV brawls. Please tell me there is some love left in this industry.
There is. There really is. And it comes from a very unlikely pair, Amir Khan and Arjit Singh.
Oh, I loved this story. This was my favorite thing I read all week.
It's visually such a powerful contrast to everything we just discussed. Amir Khan travels all the way to Murshidabad. He visits Arjit Singh. Now, you have to remember, Arijit just broke millions of hearts by announcing his retirement from playback singing.
Which is still a tragedy, by the way. I'm not over it. I don't think I'll ever be over it.
None of us are. But here's Amir. And what do? They don't do a PR stunt. They don't announce a big collaboration.
No press release.
Nothing. They go up to a terrace and they fly kites.
Just flying kites.
It's so human. It's so quiet. In a week where Revue is dropping loud, explosive teasers and reality stars are fighting, here are two absolute titans of their fields just watching a piece of paper float in the wind.
It feels like a moment of genuine friendship. Like Amir went there to check on his friend, not his colleague.
It suggests a connection that goes way beyond the business. And it also speaks to that theme of the pause that we started with. Arijit is pausing his career. Amir has been taking longer and longer breaks between his films. Maybe they are the only two people who understand the value of stepping off the treadmill.
The joy of missing out, maybe? JOMO instead of FOMO.
Perhaps. I think you're onto something. It's a lovely, lovely image.
And we had a few other heartwarming updates in our little Family Miles section. Soha Ali Khan and Kunal Kimu in Japan.
Celebrating 11 years, which is amazing.
With their daughter Inaya. Soha calling Kunal the best decision of her life. I mean, come on. That's just adorable.
It is. It's the Instagram perfect life, but it feels genuine with them. They've always seemed very grounded, you know.
They have. And then down south, the dynasty grows. Alu Arjun congratulating Ram Charan and Upasana on their twins.
Born on January 31st. A boy and a girl.
Twins. The quote was, "Pride radiates on Chiranjeevi Garu's face." Can you even imagine being born into that family? You're 2 days old and you're already royalty.
It's incredible. And Sonam Kapoor flaunting her baby bump. It's this big celebration of motherhood and family. These stories, Soha, Ram Charan, Sonam, they are the polished, happy side of fandom. It makes you feel like, oh, stars are just like us. They love their kids.
I have to bring the mood down for just a second, because there was one story in the personal life stack that was not a kite flight or a Japanese vacation. Amal Malik.
Yes. This was a hard read.
Amal Malik is a huge name, successful composer, singer, you hear his songs everywhere, but he revealed he had to take a 5 lakh rupee loan for face surgery.
A loan. That word just sticks out, doesn't it?
It really does. You assume these guys are just swimming in cash. But he's talking about a broken skull, a torn ACL, 45 stitches, and needing to borrow money to fix his face.
It is a brutal reminder of the gig economy nature of the industry. Fame does not always equal liquid wealth. You can have millions of streams on Spotify, but if the royalty checks aren't clearing, or if you haven't worked in 6 months, you are vulnerable.
And the physical toll. We see the photoshopped magazine covers. We don't see the 45 stitches behind the makeup.
It grounds the whole discussion. You can have the beautiful kite flying moments, but you also have the I can't pay for my surgery moments. It reminds us that for every Ram Charan born into royalty, there is an artist struggling to keep their body and their bank account together.
It's the precariousness of art. You're only as good as your last hit, and your body is your only asset.
Correct. It's a tough business.
Let's zoom out a bit. We've looked at the people, now let's look at the business and the boundaries. Because geography is getting really, really blurry in Indian cinema.
The lines are vanishing. Completely. Look at Sunil Shetty, the original Anna. He's making his debut in Tulu cinema. The film is called Jai.
Tulu is his mother tongue, isn't it?
It is. So here you have a Bollywood veteran who has done hundreds of Hindi films going back to his roots to do a regional film that will premiere on ZEE5.
10 years ago would this have happened?
Probably not. 10 years ago, Bollywood was the destination. You didn't go down to regional cinema, you came up to Bollywood.
Right.
But now, that hierarchy is dead. It's completely flattened.
Right.
Actors go where the scripts are. They go where the audience is. Sunil Shetty going back to Tulu isn't a demotion. It's a celebration of roots.
And it's just good business. ZEE5 needs content. The Tulu audience needs stars. It's a win-win.
Content is content. The language doesn't matter as much as the story does anymore.
Speaking of content being king, the OTT charts threw a massive curveball this week.
The 2025 streaming charts. This was a shocker. Everyone, and I mean everyone, expected the giants to win. The Family Man 3. The Bads of Bollywood. These are the shows with the massive marketing budgets.
The ones you see on every single billboard.
But they weren't number one. An unnamed show. The sources are being a bit mysterious on the title, oddly, but the report says a show beat them both.
That is wild. It means big names and big budgets don't guarantee the #1 spot anymore.
Not at all. The audience is ruthless. They have too many choices. If the pilot of The Family Man 3 doesn't hook them in 10 minutes, they just switch to the other show. Brand loyalty is at an all-time low. Engagement is the only metric that matters.
And look at Shamhala, Adi Saikumar's film. It hit 100 million viewing minutes on AHA.
From a theatrical hit to a digital giant, it proves the long-tail theory. A movie doesn't die after Friday anymore. It lives on streaming. It finds a second life.
A third life, a fourth life.
Exactly. People who missed it in theaters catch it on their phone 3 months later on the bus.
So the race isn't a sprint anymore, it's a marathon.
It is. But amidst all this content is king talk, there is a voice that is mourning the loss of something deeper. Muzaffar Ali.
The legend. The director of Rajan.
He had a quote that just gave me chills. He said, "Not all horses run in a race. Some are worshipped."
Some are worshipped. Wow. That's beautiful.
He's explaining why a film like Rajan can't be made today. He feels the industry is obsessed with the race, the box office, the border two numbers, the opening weekend stats. We are treating every single film like a racehorse. Run faster, make more money.
And he's saying we've lost the appreciation for the show horse, the beautiful horse that just exists.
The horse that you just admire for its existence, the art for art's sake. He feels we have lost the patience for worship, for poetry, for films that don't scream but whisper.
It's a sad thought. Are we too busy scrolling to worship anything anymore?
That is his fear. But interestingly, there is a little counterpoint in the stack today. The film With Love.
Oh, the review by Manikandan.
Yes. He praised it as breathtaking, and specifically commended its depiction of simple emotions.
So simplicity isn't dead.
Exactly. Maybe Muzaffar Ali is partially right. The mainstream is a race. But there are still pockets of worship. There are still filmmakers trying to make with love, trying to capture those simple emotions, even if the noise of the race is deafening.
That's a hopeful thought. Maybe the art isn't dead, it's just quieter. You have to listen harder to find it.
Precisely.
Okay, let's wrap up with a look at the future. Because even if we are nostalgic for the worshipped horses, the machine keeps moving forward, and the future looks musical.
Very musical. A.R. Rahman is bringing his Wonderment Tour to Chennai on Valentine's Day.
Talk about a perfect date night. If you take your date to see A.R. Rahman live, you are definitely getting a second date.
It's a very safe bet. And speaking of visuals, the description of the new music video, Kegi Pigi, with Dulquer Salmaan and Runal Thakur, sounded fascinating. Retro charm meets futuristic. A dreamy alternate reality.
I love that combination. Dulquer and Runal are both so charming. And mixing retro with future, that's basically the vibe of 2026, isn't it? We are nostalgic for the past, but completely addicted to the future.
We are looking back while sprinting forward. It's a weird state of being.
And we can't ignore the viral moments. We've got Muni Roy dancing to Pyarkia, to Darnakia, pure 90s nostalgia, and Isha Mulvia dancing to Guru Randhawa's Dopamine.
The old and the new, side by side on our phone screens, one after the other.
And finally, the casting coup that has me very, very excited, D55F.
The Rajkumar Periasamy film.
Sai Pallavi joining Dhanush and Sri Leela.
That is a tremendous amount of talent in one frame. Almost unfair.
Can we just talk about Sai Pallavi and Dhanush together? That's not just acting, that is forces of nature colliding on screen.
They are arguably two of the best actors in the country when it comes to raw, uninhibited performance. Maury, too, gave us a little glimpse with Rowdy Baby, but in a serious Periasamy film, that is going to be absolute fireworks.
That's the one I'm watching. Forget the box office numbers. I want to see that chemistry.
Me too. And one last sleeper hit to mention, Serva Maya, Nivin Pauli's film.
Oh, right. The Quiet Achiever.
It quietly grossed 150 crores.
150 crores. Quietly. How do you quietly make 150 crores?
By being good. It just reinforces the point about Border 2 versus the rest. You can make massive money without being the loudest movie in the room. Quality finds a way. The audience will find it.
So let's bring this all together. What a journey today. We started with Madhavan finding humility with a rickshaw puller in the mountains. We saw the cop universe realizing that women can lead the charge. We saw the clash between sinister blockbusters and moral responsibility.
And we ended with the quiet success of Serva Maya and the beautiful poetry of Muzaffar Ali.
It really feels like Bollywood is in a state of massive flux right now. It's redefining who acts, who fights, who wins, and even what winning really means.
Right.
Is winning 300 crores with a war movie? Or is winning flying a kite with a friend and just finding peace?
That is the question. We're seeing a tug of war between the metrics of commerce and the metrics of the soul.
And I think that's where we leave the listener today. With stars like Madhavan seeking reality and directors like Muzaffar Ali missing the worship of art, are we entering an era where the audience, that's you, forces Bollywood to slow down and get real again? Or will the race always win?
Something to think about next time you buy a ticket. Or subscribe to an app.
Absolutely. From headlines to heartbeats, you've been listening to Bollywood Dive In by IndiaRevue.com. Catch you where the stories are.